Off White House Bulletin, 17 September 2025. And what I am working on right now, just updating everybody, the only two people who have been paid for Kickstarter right now are David Birdsong as quarterback, got 10% of the total gross, which seems reasonable to me because it's a real nutcracker of a job, quarterbacking a Kickstarter. So he got 2,300 US. Just got a bill from Rolly today for everything that he's done since July 2nd when the Kickstarter ended, and that was 3,200 Canadian. So what I haven't done is paid anybody creatively because I've been postponing that, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to calculate how much people get paid for their work on, in this case, Varkdalorian and Can 12, and Lone Wolf and Vark, Benjamin Hobbs cover, variant cover. And having worked it from different angles, going, okay, we start with the creator. And I worked on that for about 4 or 5 days and then went, no, that's nice to try and start with the creator, but it really starts with the project and starts with how many different contributions went into the project, creative contributions, the actual production of the comic book, and worked on that for a couple of days, and then went, okay, what I think I need is an exhaustive list of everything, every different permutation on how you create a comic book and how comic books have been created, so that we can start over at square one, anybody who's interested, and say, okay, we know everybody got ripped off for, most of the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, not to put too fine a point on it. And what could have been set up so that it's like, no, nobody's going to get ripped off from now on, because we're going to have this exhaustive list of compensation of this, and this go into this comic book. And I'm postponing working on that because exhaustive has multiple meanings in this case. And one of the things that I thought of was, okay, where does it start? What's the most primitive beginning for a comic book and for a comic book story going into a comic book? And I thought, where's that anecdote from Robin Snyder's the comics that he just ran? It was not that long ago. I found it in the August 2025 issue, actually the cover of the August 2025 issue. And it's from Paul S. Newman's King of the Comic Book Writers, third draft. And I'll just read this to you so that you get I think an idea of what I'm talking about here. He writes, I began writing feverishly like my favorite author during my teens, the prolific Alexander Dumas. This was most appropriate since my desk, a 16th birthday present, was modeled after his. See, quote, collateral, unquote, file. Bullet point, I found writing comic books easy, and if I provided enough stories a week, rewarding. Bullet point, I decided to expand my, quote, market, unquote, after discovering there were over a dozen publishers. The first new editor I encountered was Stan Lee, harried yet always smiling, creative and still pragmatic, We got along well. Anecdote. Stanley looked across the accepted Patsy Walker script that I had placed on his work-cluttered desk. I don't need humor right now, he noted. My projected earnings for that month suddenly shrunk. I need a horror story. Have you done any? Not yet, I admitted, playfully adding, but not giving me a chance to do a horror story would be a grave mistake. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Stan says, all right, and I'll even give you the plot. I yanked a pad out of my briefcase and assumed a grateful secretarial pose, pen hovering. What's the plot, Stan? A man checks into a hotel and is assigned room 13. I waited and then looked up. Yes, Stan? That's it. Go home and write it. Make it 5 pages. I think we can probably agree that that's the probably most minimal contribution starting point for a comic book and for a comic book story. So, but I don't know what you call that. Do you call it a premise? Do you call it a concept? I think we might just have to call it a Stan Lee Room 13. It's as good a shorthand as any for explaining the point. Okay, that'll do it for the Off-White House Bulletin. And now I'm going to do some work on Please Hold for Dave Sim, also postponing working on this exhaustive project.